So it's just different, eh? Like, I don't
Yeah, I don't know
understand
why.
why that
Last week
happens.
we just couldn't go on TikTok.
Yeah. Well, then now there's just an error on Twitter. It's just random, right?
And
Whatever,
let's
man.
make sure
Whoever
I
lets us
hit.
in, they let us on. They let us on. It is what it is, right?
Well, and let's assume we are live somewhere. Let's get the Instagram going. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome on in. Welcome. Yeah, Instagram won't let us go live. This is interesting.
Why is that a thing?
I don't know. I just can't click it. It's not clickable.
Weird.
You can hear me clicking.
I can hear you clicking.
Are we live? We're live anywhere? We're live on TikTok.
Cool. That's something, right?
Instagram.
All right.
I'm gonna try one more time on Instagram, and then we're just gonna get going. How you feeling today, Mike? While I do this, how you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm excited to get back at it after, the last race before the break was the Belgian Grand Prix, and you and I, we always talk about how much we love Spa, but traditionally we have not done very well there, and it didn't work out for us
It's the
in
biggest catch
Spa again
22
this year.
because I love Spa,
Yeah.
and you're right. We
I
just
know
somehow we don't make money in Spa.
it it never plays out the way that we think it's going to play out. And that was the case literally again a couple of weeks ago. So I don't know. I'm excited to try to get back at it, and I would say on the other side of the coin, historically the Dutch Grand Prix we've done quite well at. So it's kind of nice to have them back to back in some ways.
Okay, well, I will say it wasn't that hard to do well at the Dutch Grand Prix when Max Verstappen was just going to win it every week, every
That's
year.
true.
I don't know if that's the case this year, Mike. 3/10 from Lando to Max. Like, is the McLaren the rocket ship now?
I don't know. That's crazy because what is it like? It's just over a minute. The lap isn't long, right? And I
Yeah,
think a lot's being made of that gap. I think in some ways, I saw that Andrea Stella he actually like literally had to come out with some quotes because everybody was talking about how big that gap over Verstappen was from P1 to P2. And obviously, when you extrapolate it over like a longer race lap, then it's like even more significant. But he made some points. He was saying, obviously, again, the corner spread here is kind of similar to Barcelona, for example, where it's medium high speed, and that's more in the wheelhouse of the McLaren, especially in its upgraded form.
yeah.
And he made the point. He made the point. I don't know. We can talk about how important this is, but he made a really strong point of saying that over Friday and Saturday, it's been overcast. It's been colder ambient temperatures. We haven't seen some sun, and that obviously favors the McLaren. And they've been saying that for years. Like this, even the older iterations of this car through the rule set have been massively advantaged by those colder temperatures without sunshine. And I was looking at the weather, and it is like just pure sun, 0% rain, pretty well for like the entire length of the race so far. That's what they're calling for on the forecast.
Okay.
And you got to think about it, right?
So what's that make you think? That the McLaren has
Makes
been
me
overvalued and they're going to fall backwards?
potentially. What like I? How else do you read into that? Or you could so if he's saying that, this is the hardest part about taking what Andrea Stella. I don't know. He's a pretty literal guy, right? So do you think there's any credence to that? Do you think that he's a classic like typical engineer in the sense that he just like says what he thinks type of thing? I don't think he doesn't play games. He's not like the other team principals. He's not like Wolf or Horner. He is pretty transparent, I think,
Mm-hmm.
about what he sees, right? So that could be something, right? Before you start jumping on Lando to win the race or something significant like that, maybe it's worth keeping that in mind.
Well, here's the thing that I'm struggling to reconcile with Lando is what's he gonna do off the line? And I mean, we'll jump into a category because I do think this is interesting. Where is it at lap one position? Whereas
Oh, do they have it for Lando?
I don't think they do. They don't
No,
even
they
want to
definitely
be
don't.
in the water with
No.
how is Lando going to be
I,
after end of lap.
Ben, my opinion on that is I wouldn't fade him for that only because of it's got to be one of the shortest runs from pole to turn one,
Hmm.
right? Like there's just less time for things to go wrong for him. I would be really surprised if I wouldn't be surprised. What am I saying? I'd be like I would call it 50-50 instead of it being like a 80-20 proposition that he doesn't have the lead at the turn one. I think it's 50-50 just purely because of the characteristics of the track. You know what I mean?
I hear
And
you.
everybody's been such a big deal about it. Like, there's no way they've probably. I think McLaren said that they've been like exploring reasons during the launch phase that he has struggled so much. So you would think technically they take care of issues. If it's just his driving that's the problem, and at some point the guy's going to get the lead in the turn one. This might be it.
So do you not think Max Verstappen to lead lap one at plus 200 is maybe something interesting to look at?
I think that's too short. Like I it should be longer. I would be more interested if it was longer.
He starts second, and the guy that starts first has never led lap one from pole.
Yeah, but it's just you have one chance. He has one chance to overtake him in this 70-second lap, and it's literally going into turn one, and Lando's starting on the clean side of the track. Like, does that factor into things too?
Now, this turn one has camber, so there is, in theory, 2 racing lines through that corner.
Yeah, Max will find whatever racing line he needs, right?
But that's kind of my point. Yeah. This is in a normal corner where, to your point, like that is the only overtaking opportunity for that lap, but they can go wheel to wheel in that corner. It doesn't have to happen in the braking zone.
I think that advantage is Lando, to be honest. I think that the multiple lines actually gives him an advantage of keeping the lead.
That's actually a really good point. Okay, I don't disagree with you there.
It's hard for me to say. And if the race is boiling down to what happens in turn one, well, listen, we saw Oscar Piastri win in Hungary because of what he did going through the first couple of turns, taking the lead and then maintaining it. This is the same type of track, right? It's just difficult to overtake here.
Yeah.
So Lando, like maybe, I don't know, Lando winning the race is definitely possible. I mean, they certainly have the race pace for it. Again, my only hesitation about just jumping on McLaren was that quote from Stella, which might be nothing. Like, it could literally be nothing.
See, I happen to think that this could be a McLaren 1-2. Like, I do think McLaren is the fastest car. 3/10 is a lot.
I know, but again, there's a bunch of things that are built into that, of course, too, right? Like both Oscar and Max didn't have they had like scruffy final Q3 laps, right?
Yeah.
They weren't their best, obviously. So if you wanted to take like best versus best, I think I saw an article did a comparison between Max's best sectors, and then it ended up being like 2.5 tenths or something.
Mm-hmm.
And if you start looking at the potential difference with obviously the tire piece, does that start to narrow the gap too? I'm not saying like I think McLaren. I think McLaren is the best overall car now at this point. I think the upgrades that they brought to Zandvoort, as much as Stella in the same piece was saying in quotes like, we don't know if this difference, we didn't put any more load on the car. It was all aero efficiency apparently. Like, they didn't try to go and put a bunch of downforce on the car.
No, they did though, because it's a brand new high downforce wing.
I know it's odd that he said that. And the new downforce wing, that the DRS difference between Red Bull and McLaren looks like it's been sort of mitigated in some ways.
Well, McLaren, their advantage on the lap.
You can easily convince me.
Their advantage on the lap has been in the straights.
Yeah, I know.
Now here's this might be better saved for a post recap type of. But I've been workshopping a thought, and before I get into it, what's up, boys? I see Ead, I see Steven in the chat on YouTube. Like, we got lots of people joining. No one chatting on TikTok. Let us know what you guys are thinking on TikTok too. We're live on TikTok and YouTube. I think the regulations have failed, man. These regulations, the whole purpose of them was to make it easier to follow. And I think we falsely thought that they worked for 2 years because all they did was create a gap because Red Bull spent too much money and started too far ahead and got a slap on the wrist. Now that the cars are closer together again, what do we hear the entire race? Oh, clean air, Oscar. I would have been faster in clean air. It was all about the clean air, all about the clean air. Yeah. I think we're back to a point where the straight line speed is going to make a difference because you can't follow through the corners. And the fact that McLaren is like, that's where they're making up the time is on the straights. I don't know. I got the hat on. I'm a broken record. Sometimes I get a little too high on McLaren, but I think they look really good this week.
I do too. I truthfully do. And some of the stuff that I'm hanging on to try to keep Max in the equation, I think, again, I brought up the tires piece with Stella. I was really, in my hot pick, I was really on top of Max looking great on the long runs on the softs. But I think the reality is, like, if you have a good car, you're going to look good on all the... Oh, look at that. Ferrari flag's coming down behind.
Oh. Actually, you're good. Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. You can tell on some of them. Yeah.
You can tell? That's fine. Not a big deal. It's almost taking me out. No big deal. I think those are more like ancillary points. Maybe they don't really matter. Maybe just McLaren has outdeveloped Red Bull. Like, it's not that crazy a thing to think about.
So is this crazy?
I don't. What?
Max
crazy?
Verstappen, exact P3.
It's not crazy. It's
Is
not crazy.
is this like, okay, we wake up tomorrow and it's
It's not
like,
crazy.
oh my god, the McLarens were always going to be 1-2 and the Red Bull has a gap to George and Max was always going to finish third.
Like, so realistically, could George beat Max?
Well, they have him more favored.
What do you mean? More
Like
favorite?
to finish third, George is
Oh, to
plus
finish third.
275,
Yeah.
Max is plus 400.
No, but I think they're fading Oscar though. I'm assuming, right? I haven't looked at it, but Oscar's probably the guy.
No,
who's
Oscar's the
favored,
favorite to finish third, 175.
right? Oh, really?
Yeah, I guess is it more likely that Max finishes 1 or 2, so he gets longer odds
Yeah.
for 3?
I guess so. I think that's probably what it is, right? It must be that. So this, I'm okay. What is that? We're not.
Well, it's
Like, we
plus
don't even keep it
400,
on
so you're
like
gonna hate it.
Okay. No, I'm not gonna
We
hate
can't.
it.
That can't
but
be
I'm
the
just like,
first thing on the slip.
No, we don't need to start talking about a plus 400 bet right away. Like I think we're still
Okay,
figuring out
okay.
what's going to happen at the top. So top two. So those top. I saw the top 2 odds. What are the top 2 odds? Take us to the top.
Like
2.
the dual forecast or top 2?
Yeah. Do you have the screen? You have the screen share going, right?
Yeah, can you not see it? Oh, I don't have it on the. Do you want me to add it on the
Riverside's
Riverside
fine.
for you?
No, you don't need to. I'll just follow along on my phone. Not a big deal.
Okay.
But top 2 finish.
There's just no value in
Right,
this.
What plus 120 for Oscar Piastri?
Oh,
You
well,
literally
Oscar.
just said.
Yeah,
Yeah, what do you mean?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So I would assume if McLaren is a threat to win, if Lando's a threat to win, then what we've seen is Oscar's a threat to win.
Yeah,
He's just unbelievable.
yeah.
He's sick.
He's the prince.
He's the prince. He's better than Lando, probably. I still think he is.
I was chatting with a guy from Down Under the other day, and I was asking him, I was like, "Is Oscar like the national pride now?" And he said, "Unfortunately, no. It's still Danny. There's no personality.
What?
Oscar doesn't have the personality to like win the hearts of the Aussies."
He actually has. He is like the best. I know he has the least Australian personality of all
Right.
time.
He
But
didn't even
is,
want
like,
to do a
he is the
shoey.
best-
Like,
He is the best personality.
oh yeah, no, I love
hilarious.
Oscar. Yeah,
He's hilarious. Yeah.
that's interesting.
Oh.
Is there a chance that it's Max, Oscar, Lando? Like, is it worth? If we're gonna look at Oscar top 2, what's a 1-2 finish for McLaren? Does Oscar get into the top 2 if it's not Oscar and Lando in some sort of order? I mean, Lando can
Lando
crash.
and Max run into each other in
Yeah.
turn 1. I don't
Lando
know,
can
like,
go
yeah,
one.
it's realistically.
What am I saying?
Yeah.
Lando can come out of turn 1 in
What do you mean?
third.
No, I don't think. Actually, so like I don't. Yeah, Lando can come out of turn 1 and third. I don't think he's going to crash. I think he's like if anything's
No, he
gonna
doesn't
happen, he's gonna
crash.
lose his positions. Obviously, he's not going to crash. He tries too hard not to crash. Actually,
That's actually his problem. Is he never crashes in turn 1. He just loses 5 spots. They're plus 260. You get double payout to get, but then you have both cars
plus 260 for
the dual 1-2 McLaren.
no, I don't like.
I think that's not enough value to pick a 1-2
No,
when Max
No, I
Verstappen
don't
starts
think so.
2.
yeah, I don't mind. Like
This is
the Oscar
interesting.
Plus 120 is not a bad bet. Like that isn't horrible to me.
It's not a bad
Because
bet.
again, it's absolutely conceivable that regardless of the conditions that exist, that McLaren just has a faster car. And even though, so how much value do you put on track position here? Like if McLaren's advantage is real, I think, over Red Bull, even at this track that has some demands of aero efficiency. But do you think track position plays a big part in holding Oscar back?
This
way?
isn't Monaco. And also,
No, it's not Monaco. It's not Monaco. No.
I mean, I saw the Pirelli graphic, and 3 out of the 4 strategies were a 1-stop. But in 22, it was a 2-stop strategy until a safety car made it a 3-stop. Last year there was rain, so it was a less relevant strategy. But if it's 2-stop, like there's so much for Oscar. It's not. This isn't Monaco where it's 1-stop and it's track position and you just single file.
It seems like you're suggesting that like somehow McLaren is going to win a strategy war against Red Bull, which clearly is just not a good
No,
bet.
that's not what.
My point would have been like if this was a bang on 1-stop, and it seems like that's the more and more you read about it, it looks like that's kind of what it's leaning to. Then maybe it's just a car performance thing, and McLaren has a chance. But if it does become a strategy issue or strategy defined race, then they're gonna be fucked. I wouldn't trust them. I think that one of the reasons I like McLaren is because it's probably it's a simple strategy of either what it looks like, soft hard or soft medium, like one of the two.
Mm-hmm.
You start on the soft so you don't give up track position at the beginning, and then you run until you make the switch.
I
Right?
had it open. Where is it? Albert. Shout out every week. Albert
Yeah.
Fabrega on Twitter, on X.
Oh.
20
There you go.
laps. 24 to 30 laps on a soft. You can go soft hard, you can go soft medium, you can go hard soft, or you can go soft medium soft. But nobody has the softs to do a soft medium soft. Nobody has new softs except for Lewis. Lewis has 2.
That's okay. So he could do, yeah. But again, though, I don't know how much, what value are you getting out of the two stopper? Because there's two things, right? The pit lane is like super long, and isn't the pit limiter like less than, it's like 60 instead of 80 or something? It's you don't want to be in the pits here. There's a big problem with that.
Yeah. Okay.
So I don't know. Again, I think that's part of the reason why the two stop isn't really on the table is because of the pit loss. It's so high. So okay, so let's.
I
look
jotted
at
down the
from-
top 2.
okay.
I don't hate the top 2. Plus 120 is good value. We've got a couple.
It's like for those.
We've got some suggestions that I want to take a look at.
Oh,
So EAD most team
yeah.
points McLaren. Like I agree with you. I think that's a great bet, but I don't love the value. Minus 334.
Oh, yeah. Not really in the sweet spot for us, but I don't. Obviously, it's a great bet. I think.
We got multiple people in the chat with a combination TriCast. Max, Lando, Oscar. Yeah, I mean that.
It's yeah.
I think that was minus money too, though.
But I truthfully though, I wouldn't take a little bit. I would be concerned about George Russell.
I'm concerned about George too. By the way, in 22, George was the
Yeah.
one guy that did a one-stop strategy, and he,
I know.
like, is he 100% going to do that again today? Like,
Yeah, probably, right. I don't know what difference I made this big deal about Stella talking about the weather and the impact of the sunshine and how McLaren is advanced. I don't know. I don't think anybody knows what the Mercedes is good and isn't good at, and does the change in conditions from the weekend. So this is going to be a totally different set of weather. I mean, it's still going to be windy, right? But it's not going to be rainy. It's not going to be overcast. It's going to be just pure sun, higher ambient temperatures. Is that better for Mercedes? I think probably not, but I don't even know if I can pinpoint that. It actually probably would be better for is Ferrari, so we can discuss them at some point. But
you're high on Ferrari.
Dramatic shift, not high on Ferrari. I'm just saying that's a dramatic change in the conditions that we've seen that Ferrari has struggled in at a track that they should theoretically struggle with because they have to run the car so high, right?
Because I had an interesting look. We can get into another group. Another option here that involved Ferrari. I like Checo in Group 2.
You like Checo?
Checo starts 5th. Leclerc 6th.
You want to bet on Checo?
Lewis and Sainz are out of the equation in this group. Kind of, man. He's like, okay, he hasn't. It's not been a perfect weekend for him. He got the traffic with Lewis. Lewis got the penalty, so at fault. Not Checo's fault. The concern is he did have to burn the extra set of tires, but he's got still one medium, one hard. But even given all that, he's 5th. He's not 12th. And the Red Bull is faster than the Ferrari, and now he's got track position on the Ferraris. I kind of like him at minus 110 to just basically beat Charles.
Okay, I actually do like that's a pretty logical bet. You could convince me of that. He's getting.
This is a weekend where Checo's not out of it. So it's let's just kind of pick him to stay there in a fast race car.
Yeah, he should definitely beat Leclerc.
He should be pushing George for 4th.
100%. He should. Okay.
Now that just gave me a little concern, thinking that we've got Checo and George together. We can't bet around guys crashing.
Betting on Checo is just we have a horrible record betting on Checo. Well, I shouldn't say that. We don't. You're right. There's a couple of times that we've just nailed him in combo. No, not even straight. There's straight forecasts probably at the top for 1-2s with him and Max, but still. Okay. Write that down. I have no.
This is one of the ones that I came into the show kind of liking.
So I guess the only counter argument I have to that is the Ferrari performance. No, no. I was going to say
I don't think
the change in the weather conditions going to make the Ferrari competitive with the Red Bull. Why? I don't even know why that would matter. It's not going to matter.
No.
Why would it matter?
I don't think so. And for your reference, I'm pretty sure this opened where they were both 125. And then so the public has moved it to Checo. We've lost a little value, but I liked Checo even when they're even.
Yeah, I don't. No, it makes sense that the public's moved it. They were both 125s, and so the
Plus
public's moved away
125s.
Oh, plus 125.
Yeah.
Checo was plus 125 to win.
They were both
group
like just over
ahead
plus
of everybody. That's hilarious.
Yeah, and he starts ahead.
They
And
think
that was before.
Lewis
Sorry,
and Carlos
that was before Lewis's penalty that I looked at that. Before like the penalty came down,
okay.
So that probably maybe moved the line. I'm gonna mark it in here.
Yeah, I'm completely fine with that.
Group 2 minus 110. Okay, let me check. I had a couple notes. Was there anything else that you wanted to jump to, or let me see my notes here.
Okay, so the one thing I had written down is, do you think like Lewis?
I have a Lewis bet that you're gonna hate.
Do you think Lewis gets in?
There's no value in it.
10?
There's no value.
No, but I'm saying so. Okay, so let me pitch it this way.
Okay.
So Carlos signs his 10th. Carlos signs his 10th.
Yeah.
I guess it has to be one of these other guys. I'm like wondering do you think Lance Stroll falls out in some way?
Are you trying to find a way to say Lewis doesn't get in?
No, I'm saying like if Lewis gets in,
he's minus 600 to be in the points.
Yeah, so he's going to get in.
Yeah.
Carlos is probably going to stay in as well too. Points finished. Carlos Sainz is minus 550. Then it's just like what Lance Stroll versus Pierre Gasly. I guess I don't know. Nah, never mind.
No, but I'll tell you what I do think happens with Lewis. You're going to hate it.
What do you think happens with Lewis?
He gets the fastest lap.
We're not doing that.
Can I see the odds? I haven't even seen the odds.
No.
Well, you can't stop me. If I can find it though, I can't find the category. Oh no, I'm under pressure.
I hope you never find it. I hope you never find it. No, I don't like that bet. Come on.
Fastest lap.
Fastest lap bet. There you're like, oh, there it is. It
plus
exists.
800, Mike. Plus 800. Steven, Ead, what do we think? Why? Yeah. Because he's in potentially the second fastest car, and he has 2 sets of new softs. He's the only guy with 2 new softs. So like, why is he not going to pit at the end and just go get the fastest lap?
He might be in the race. What do you mean? No. Like that's my point. Is not that.
No, I knew you were going to hate it
for something.
Me live.
Why wouldn't I hate it?
Let me live.
No, it's honestly the dumbest bet. I don't know if there. First of all, it's dumb that it exists. Like that, they have to get rid of that rule. It's idiotic. And then obviously we're not going to bet on it because it's pretty well random, depending on what gap opens up and if there's a safety car and all that.
Okay, fine.
Factors.
What about Oscar to lead lap 1? That's another bet you'll hate.
No, okay. We gotta find some meat. Like
that was my fun.
These are all fun. These are great. Like these, and I'm not opposed to a lot of them. But like, let's find something in that like sweet spot of plus and minus 200, and really, we need like 5 bets like that to consider. We haven't really found anything yet.
We have 2.
No, not everything. We found 2. We have 2. We have 2.
We have 2. Like.
Two that I think are respectable that we can look at for sure.
I don't think it's worth doing teammate bets. Everyone's so like, here's where I struggled trying to prep for this is they're very limited on the match. Like there's only 3 team match bets.
Yeah, I didn't see. So there's nothing really good for the team match bets. There's nothing that we liked, right? Go back to. Well, maybe we go back and look at them.
Well, I'm on them now. It's McLaren versus Red Bull. I mean, you could take Max at 175. No. Mercedes versus Ferrari. I would be big on Mercedes. They're minus 350. Or the V carb versus the Haas are both minus 120. I don't even. Where are they all?
I like
Yuki,
that. Yuki
minus 120.
Yeah,
it's basically Yuki versus Hulk. The other 2 are at the back, right?
Well, and Danny's
there.
So it's
kind of
11. Man, I would take. That's even odds for them to beat. So Nico Hulkenberg's had a tough weekend.
Yeah, right? But then he still hooked it up. He has had a tough weekend, but then he did what he does.
Yeah, no, he's sick. But he still starts behind for the same reason that you just got all excited about Checo holding off Leclerc. I would argue that Yuki, I don't think the Haas is that incrementally that much faster than the RB. And you've got his teammate in 14th that Lewis is gone, right? So pretty well those guys are going to be sandwiched at some point. It's going to be Yuki, Hulkenberg, and Ricardo.
Yeah, where
deploy a little bit of strategy at that point.
Where is Lewis?
Right?
Why do I still see why do I see him 13th? Is that where he is? 13th?
Yeah, he is 13th.
Yeah,
right?
okay.
Yeah, he is 13th.
I thought he went further.
He's 13th.
Oh, because Magnussen came out from and Albon came out from
Yeah,
ahead of him, right?
exactly. Yeah.
What about I saw group 4.
Oh, hold on. So
Well,
just
okay,
stay on that for a second.
but it's the same
Can we
thought.
put that on? Okay. Oh,
So
sorry.
you can
Go
get
ahead. Go ahead.
minus 120 for those for the pick. You get both V
Yeah.
carbs,
Sure. Yeah, which I like.
or
I love
you can
that
go
actually.
just Yuki the guy for plus 125 because this group 4 is the V carbs and the Haas. So like, do we
Oh,
want
okay.
minus 120 to have both, or is it just always going
No,
to be
I
Yuki?
no, I would rather have both.
I think I'd rather
I
have
would rather
both,
have minus. I would rather have minus 120 for both because
just in
again, like really,
case.
I think very very quickly, that's going to be RB Haas RB, and they can do. It's not like Yuki can hold up, assuming he holds the position. Yuki can hold up Hulkenberg. Danny can get back into it. I
What I
think
like about that too, Mike,
it's a pretty sharp
is
bet actually.
if
Yeah.
Yuki and Hulk do the stay on the same strategy as each other, and then it's the
Yeah.
wrong strategy, or they get caught out. Like Ricardo's the one that's going to inherit their positions because Magnussen's way too far back.
I like again. I don't. I'm not looking at this like okay. Weirdly, from I don't know. I don't think either car is great at this particular type of track. We've seen the Haas be really great in like super high speed stuff, and we've seen it be good in some of the slow speed stuff. And it literally, I think it was before the break. I remember a quote. It must have been the Hungaro ring where Hulkenberg was talking about like randomly the car just actually is worse. Though it's worst in medium speed corners, which there's a lot of that at Zandvoort. So I don't know. I don't think like they have an advantage from a pace perspective that they might have on other tracks over RB. I'm interested. Like minus one, what is it? Minus 120.
Minus
That's
120.
two shots. Yeah, two shots at that. I
I'm
think it's a
interested
pretty
in it
sharp
too.
bet. Okay, let's mark it down.
And our chat has some of the same bets.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's got Yuki. Well, he
Sure.
likes the Yuki group 4, but
He
he
likes
got it
Yuki
minus
Group 4,
120
okay.
or no? He likes the minus 120.
He
We've
likes
got.
minus
I see
120, that's
Matthew in the TikTok. Matthew, are we doing bet builders with boosts? We're not. We take individual bets, so I don't know if that's like a same game parlay type of thing. We haven't done any parlays. That's kind of new actually on the book, but I like having our bets
Yeah.
separate. I think, right, Mike?
Yeah, we haven't really. Well, we talked about it at one point, and it's just like sometimes it's. I would rather have. We're betting $1,000. I'd rather have everything be separate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
Just because it could all come crumbling apart if one of those legs doesn't hit, right? And it's I think it's too much risk.
And we don't hedge like direct hedge where you can only win one, but we do have our bets are typically tied into each other where they can help each other
I
out.
think that's a great point. Yeah, I think it's a great point. You lose the advantage of being able to tie them together in some way if you have them put together as legs, right?
Okay, VCAR versus Haas. I like that. That's funny. I literally went to that category saying there's nothing here, but do you want to dip
something.
into the combo podiums? Come to the combo podiums with me on your side. Just see if there's any value.
Yeah, I haven't looked at that yet. Okay.
Nothing jumped out when I looked at it earlier. Lando and George.
George, Max and George.
Max and George.
Verstappen. I mean, yeah, it's going to boil down to like, what do you think is going to happen with George Russell? I don't know. I don't think I could. I don't know, man. Like Oscar and George finishing on the podium at plus 225. Like, I don't think that's possible, right? It's possible.
Yeah, who in your mind is if George is going to enter, who's coming out? Is it weird that I kind of feel like it's Max?
No, I do. Like, I don't know what really to make of that, honestly. Like, it's possible that he's the one that comes out. I mean, we're kind of getting, maybe we might be swinging the pendulum too far in the other direction right now with
Maybe.
Max. I mean, like he's gonna be competitive. I think, yeah, he's gonna be competitive. Like it would be bizarre if Oscar could be P2 just on pace, and then maybe it's just Max and George fighting it out for that final podium spot. I mean, I
In which case, that was
it was a
making me
different
think
track.
that
Yeah.
the no Max and George no is the bet to take, but it's minus 200. It's at the edge of our window. It's at the frame.
Not bad actually. Yeah, but that's still not. So Max and George on the podium, no, is not a bad bet. Given what we've just talked about, that's a very good point. A minus 200. There's only so much room up there.
It's not bad. Like The McLaren, okay, so option A, McLaren's dominant. They're a 1-2. And then we've got Max and George battling. I like Max in that battle, I think.
Yeah.
Option 2, Max wins the race because he was sandbagging all weekend. And then I like the McLarens to hold off George, probably.
I like that too. I mean, it's a minus 200 bet for a reason, but I don't know. Do you think like maybe Checo makes George's life hard? I don't know. Could. He has the car to be able to do it.
He could.
Just whether or not he's capable of doing it is the question. That's not bad, man. Because minus 200, you would think that it would be steeper. I can see that. That'll probably move to minus 225 actually relatively soon.
Well, the race is going to start. Yeah, actually, there's movement. Yeah. Do you like that or Lando? Like Lando and George, same bet. I kind of like Max better, I think, because I think the potential for a McLaren 1-2 is slightly stronger than.
Yeah, I'll take the guy with the track position, right? Like I'll just take Lando because he has P1 right now. He has it now.
Oh, so you like Lando and George? You're saying?
No. Sorry, I like Max and George.
More likely Lando stays there, so the Max and George implies that maybe Max also is the one that doesn't come on the podium.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. I'll mark it down. I mean, all of a sudden we have 4.
Okay. Those are. I didn't look at the.
How do I write this?
You went through all the groups. I didn't look at the groups. What were the groups again? Lando, Checo. We do like the Checo one. We like the Tsunoda.
Verstappen and
Albon's minus 400. That's hilarious.
Russell. No.
Finishing position, enhanced win only. What have we not been through? Let's try to make a pit stop. I'm gonna just look at the safety car and virtual safety car. It's plus 150. I'm just gonna take a look. Like it happens all the time here.
Oh yeah, it's something pops out.
Classified drivers. Classified drivers.
Can we make a bet that Logan Sargent isn't a Williams driver by the end of the race?
Oh fuck! It's probably just like minus 500.
Dude, they bring a fully upgraded car for him.
You gotta get rid of him,
and he just crashes it.
Yeah, you might as well just drive one guy. Like you might as well have one guy driving. Just have Albon for the rest of the year. You don't even replace him.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh man. I'm also going to go back into the group. I thought, was there a group 5 no, there is no 5. 1, 2, 4, 6. That makes sense. Like minus 400 for Albon in the last group. No value there. Where's the bet that Haas leaves? I can't read because of the heart. Get rid of the heart. Where's the bet that Haas leaves the NL as Haas? I don't understand. I'm sorry.
Your colleague just seizes all their assets and they don't exist anymore?
Oh, yeah. That's because they're not allowed to take their cars with them after this race.
I don't know. Yeah, where are the odds? I want to know. It's a great question.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
What are the odds?
They just wait to serve. They wait to serve them in Netherlands. Yeah. No, you're stuck here now.
Sorry, you live here now, Gene. Yeah.
What are you looking at? I can follow along.
I was at the race. I was at race match bets.
Like teammate, like driver match bets.
Yeah. Like, did you see anything?
I feel like the teammates are so spread out. Like, unless you want to say Oscar takes Lando.
There's a lot of that, right? It's like massive.
Like guys, like everyone's so spread out. Alonso and Stroll.
Minus 250 is just not really worth. I mean, like literally, Lance Stroll could beat him. I don't know.
Here's another little thought that
if it was raining, I would be like, yes.
Here's another little thought I've been workshopping. Lawrence knew exactly. He had a sense of the cliff that Alonso was potentially going to fall off, and we've seen that now. But he timed the contract so perfectly to bring him in so that everyone would go, oh my God, Alonso, look how good Alonso is. Look how... No one's talking now about Alonso maybe falling off. It's just Stroll is doing so well against his superstar teammate, Fernando Alonso. Now, maybe Alonso just got old this year now, and they timed that contract so well to look good for Stroll.
I love these takes. They're unreal. Unbelievable take. You know, you think he has that He's that type of businessman. He's
Yeah,
the ultimate businessman.
yeah. You're going to come in. You're going to
Like,
be good for 1 year.
why
You're going
does
to
he
make
sound
my
like
son
Toto?
look good.
Why does he have an Austrian accent?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
Anything,
I don't
anything,
know.
any no's, any fades that you like. I guess we have the combo
Like
podium
the
is a
points
fade
or the top
technically.
sixes or something.
Points fade. Like, is
Let's
there
see
a
top
points fade? I
sixes.
was looking at that Lance Stroll points fade, but the top six, what's that?
Yeah, he's eighth. I wouldn't fade him out of the
It's
points.
a plus 240. Like, is Leclerc? No, because the Aston Martins aren't really a threat. Like,
There's
does
no.
Leclerc fall out of the top six? He's sitting in six, and there's no threat from those two cars. But then his teammate Lewis Hamilton, like, it's just a long way for people to come to knock him out, right? I don't know. That doesn't really make any sense. I don't
I don't
think,
think
right?
any of these make sense.
No, eh?
Like it would be a fade. You'd have to look at a fade on Lewis or something, and it's just there's no value in
Well,
that.
yeah, because you have to keep in mind that like the odds are. So I was just looking. It's under 18.5 is the favorite for classifications. So if two cars are going to come out, like, we always kind of say like one car's coming out at the top,
Yeah,
one car's coming out at the bottom, right? So there's going to be like a space is going to open up for somebody.
but 18 and
Not
a
that
half is one
it's
car, not two cars.
no. It's sorry. It's favored that under 18.5. So it's 18 essentially is what you're
Oh,
looking at. It's minus 163 for under
I
18
see
and
what
a
you're
half.
saying.
Yeah. So there's going to be, they think two cars are going to come out, which is, I mean, given what's happened here in the last couple of years. Now, the fact that there's no, I mean, the wind gusts mean something, right? I think that's going to create some issues. It's
Yeah, but how
always
do we bet?
sandy.
How do we bet on
Well,
wind
I'm just saying,
gusts?
well, no, I'm talking about, do you look at it from a perspective of like there's an extra position available in the top 10?
No, because there's
You know,
nothing that says that that's a top 10 position. It could be sergeant. It could be.
I don't know. I get that, but so it likely is somebody from the bottom of the order. But it also, I think, like that you have the same percentage of it being someone in the top 10 as it is the
I
bottom 10, and
disagree.
there's
I get what you're
theoretically
saying
two
from a
cars.
math perspective, but no, that's favored because you have
No,
two stakes on the grid, and you have a Logan Sargent on the grid. Like that's why the under is favored there.
okay, fair.
Not. It's
They just
not.
like
It's not.
retire the car. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
just retire the car.
Yeah. You have two
I was the only
Alpines
reason I
on the
was looking at
grid.
that.
Like,
I know you do have two Alpines in the grid. I was looking at like the Yuki and Hulkenberg. Like, do you plus 225? Like, is there enough space for them both? Nah, it's not because the car. Like, you got Lewis coming. There's only Lewis. Like, Carlos is in the top 10.
can we think about
Lewis
something for a
comes
second?
in.
I'm taking you to a different
What?
spot.
Okay, just do something. Yeah, I don't know where that train of thought was going. So
We
go.
have Oscar top two plus 120.
Okay.
Oscar without Lando is plus 175. So the difference
see
is
that.
top two gets a Max, Oscar, Lando podium, and we win because Oscar's top two, but we would lose the without Lando. But if we think it's a McLaren 1-2, and that's what we're betting on, then there's more value in taking Oscar without Lando.
No, but I think I still like the top two bet though more.
Right,
Just
because
because of the
Lando could
potential
easily
for
go wide on turn
he
one,
could
try not to
easily,
crash,
yeah, it just
and then it's Max
he
and
already
Oscar
he
fighting
did
for a
it.
win.
Yeah. Well, he also again he lost out to his teammate in Hungary. It's just probably doing the exact same thing that's going to happen here, right?
Yeah, but the only difference here is Max wins. If it's
We don't
Max,
know.
then Oscar, then we
No,
win the
because
top two.
Oscar started. If it's Max, then Oscar, then we win the top two. Yeah, well, I do, and I like
But
that.
we would lose
Obviously,
the
I think
without
that,
Lando. That's the only scenario where that's better, where that's safer.
but that could easily happen. But I mean, that could easily happen.
Yeah, yeah, okay, okay.
So yeah,
All right.
I like having the flexibility. I think it's better. Not that we need to take those two bets, but I guess I'm leaning maybe more toward that. That's a minus 200 combo podium fade, plus the plus one and the plus 120.
Yeah, we've got a
Those are
plus
two good
120. We've
bets.
got Checo Group 2's minus 110. V Carb over Haas is minus 120, and then the combo no is minus 200. Dude, honestly, I don't know if we need that combo no for like minus 200 with the
not?
other three.
I like the other three. I like the other three. Is there
Like,
like
is this a case where
we've
yeah, it's probably the one that I like the least too. Like Max and George. They're the two.
I don't think.
They're the most likely scenario out of those four. Like that's the most likely combo to not be on the podium is Max and George.
Yeah.
But for minus 200, I don't know if we need it on the slip.
No. I don't know if I don't know if we need it on the slip. Like, do you? I mean, it's a better bet than Oscar finishing 1-2, right? Because what immediately you start winning it, and that one you start losing, right? Oscar starts 3, George starts 4, so you're winning the the fade, right? So if it's just chalk, then you win the fade at -200, which I think is pretty good value.
Mm-hmm.
You have two
You might
cars
be
that could
talking
come
me
out.
into this now.
You have two cars that could come out of the race versus you need Oscar to stay in and gain a position, which is not like always been Oscar's thing.
Uh
Like
huh.
if anything, maybe our top of the order bet is the fade,
Is
and
the
then we
combo
take Checo
podium?
and we take Yuki, and we have diversity, which is good. We don't have anything that's like helping. Well, I don't want to say that.
No, they're not really tied together in
Not
any
really.
way.
Nothing is really tied, I guess, at that point,
No, because
right?
we're all match bets. We're all someone against someone else, or team or against team. So position is irrelevant at that point.
Which I kind of like
I don't
on a
mind it.
track where, yeah, I don't mind that again on a track where overtaking is difficult,
On when
and
overtaking
we
is
have,
difficult, and on a grid that has such convergence now, like
yeah.
we're
So
picking based on whose car
you
is
know what's
better
good,
and which driver is better,
yeah.
but not what's going to happen and where are you actually going to slot in, which I like.
Not to turn this into a Monaco thing, but like when we went into Monaco, we tried really hard to find the best value for bets where we had the driver in the right position,
Yeah,
and we have that. Like every single one of our bets,
all three of those.
George is off the podium, so that's like the win for the combo fade. Yuki's ahead of Hulkenberg. Perez is ahead of his group. So like they all start in the right spot.
Hmm.
And if that's, I mean, again, you know, I don't think we're paying too heavy of a price to have grid position, I guess is my point.
Okay. Um, I kind of like these. I want to check one from the chat. Iad, again, I like where his head's at. He's got Joe last finisher. Now,
It's very
that means he
fair.
has to finish, but Joe does finish races, and he
He
finishes them
does.
last.
Man, it's like, isn't it like plus
It's
100 or
even
something?
money. Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah,
Plus
it's literally
100.
even money. It's even money. Oh, it's a sick bet.
It's a sick
Look,
bet, but I don't. It's not enough value to get on our
I
slip.
don't
I don't
know.
think.
I don't know if I want. I don't know if I want to sweat that one out. It's a sick bet. It's
I
entirely
love where
possible.
your
It's
head's at.
actually. It's not entirely possible. It's the most likely outcome. 100%.
It
Literally, again,
actually
my
is the
concern,
favorite.
but my fear with that bet is that somehow with cars starting behind him, that like he's involved in an incident. He comes out
He
of the
doesn't
race. He
classify.
doesn't. He doesn't
Yeah.
classify. Like if he was starting 20th on the grid, 100%. That would be. He's just gonna drive around by himself the entire time.
Okay, I'm taking out the Piastri top two.
Okay. So let me.
I
Let me
think
just plug
let's
all this
start
in.
making the slip. I think these are the three. And while you
Here's
get that
what
going, let me remind everyone that we do have a partner sponsor on the show, BetStamp and SignUpExpert.com. I don't have my read in front of me, but it's a great tool, especially SignUpExpert.com, and we have a link in our description and in our bios on all the apps. If you are looking to follow along and bet with us, we have all of our favorite sports books ranked on our special page with signupexpert.com/F1000. It'll help you sign up, and there's a lot of freebies for new customers. So if you are looking to follow along with us, check out our link in the description or in our bios if you're on one of the vertical apps. It helps us. We're just a couple of guys that do this for fun. So if you want to support us, we really appreciate it. And if you want to support us in a lesser way, like and subscribe. Give us a heart, give us a subscribe, give us a follow. All of that means a lot to us. And that's the spiel. All right, Mike. I mean, is it... My head went to 400 for the combo just because it's 200 and...
Yeah, that's okay.
But is that too much? Like, should we be putting more on it just to get money out of it?
Probably, right? Probably.
Like, you want half of our... Is it half our slip is on Max and George don't end up on the podium together? Let me also... I don't
Really
want to.
like
I don't
that.
want to undo everything
I think
we've
it's-
done, but George
Yeah.
probably goes one stop here and does some stupid thing where he's like doesn't deserve to be on the podium, but he's there.
No, but everybody's doing a one stop. That's my, I guess, like there's no George Russell weirdness. Like he might drive 50 laps on the softs like Yuki did last year, but like there's nothing that he can do from fourth that it's going to be so different than everybody else that I think it's going to advantage him massively. Whatever.
Okay.
His car he might get disqualified. He can't even keep his car at the proper weight.
So is it just
So I don't know. Like,
5, 250, 250? Like just simple, easy, round numbers?
I was excited. I plugged in 4, 3, and 3, and that's a return of 1722 total.
1722. Everyone remember that. 1722.
So it's $700 per
Yeah.
like that's what it is.
Okay. 700.
So if you do yours,
Yeah, do 5, 250,
still said,
250.
yeah, 5, 250, 250 is essentially is 1685.
So it's more the other way.
Profit. It's more the other way
Because we have more value on shorter lines. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Or longer.
Right. But do we
3 years in, I don't know, short or long.
Yeah, so short or long, you still have a hard time with
Haven't
that.
figured it out. You're gonna ask me something. Do I want
these two don't cover us in this? Like I was kind of looking at it.
Oh.
The two long. So I don't really like if we put $400 on this and the other two lose, and we lose $400. We win one, like that's a safety bet. I mean, whatever. When you're losing money, you're losing money. It's not really. I'm not super concerned about it. I'm just thinking like if Visa loses and Sergio and Checo loses, then you win the combo podium. The 400 pays a total of 600, so it's a net loss of 400.
Mm-hmm.
Or the 500 pays 750, so it's a net loss of 250. Like, do you really care if we lose 400 or we lose? Like, it's 250 difference in the end. Does it matter?
I didn't quite follow that, but if we're gonna lose,
I was just like, I don't even know if the math made sense what I was saying there. But like, if I guess my point was, if we're gonna lose that bet, like how much you want to rely on this combo podium finish bet? Because if we lose the other two bets and we win the combo podium bet, which is the shortest odds,
mm-hmm.
we're gonna lose money. So like, do you care about losing more money?
If we're gonna lose, I'd rather lose.
It's an insane
less.
question, actually. If we're gonna lose, you'd rather lose less.
Right. Wait, hold on. Am I understanding this right? So the win potential is $100 delta, 7 to 6 something, but the loss potential is a $200 delta, 4 to 2 something.
Yes.
So then let's take the smaller deltas in both.
So that's the 400, 300, 300.
Yeah.
Right? Is that what you're saying?
I think so.
I think that's what you're saying.
I don't know. I didn't follow my own logic there.
Couple Mensa geniuses here.
Yeah.
Or we could just look at it like, hey, the total
We're
return.
gonna win all three. Yeah, my original gut was to go with whatever paid out the higher.
I feel that way too. Yeah.
Also,
I like
Checo and the combo podium are not totally not connected.
Yes, I guess that's true.
We're an hour in. My brain's a little mush at this point. But like, if the Red Bull's gonna be fast, that's great for Checo's group, and that's maybe Checo's on the podium instead of George. Like, if they're really gonna be connected.
Now we're really stretching things out.
Do you see what I'm saying, though?
Yeah, I do see what you're saying.
Right.
We're getting a little silly now.
Yeah, well, I
fair.
know. Yeah.
That's okay.
I've had fun this morning. Now I'm feeling a little silly.
You're convincing yourself. That's fine. That's completely fine. Okay. 400, 300, 300. We dial it in. Again, like I guess my point at the beginning that I didn't do a good job of making was, if we lose the two longer bets and we win the combo podium finish, like, I don't care to win 600 versus 750.
No,
in the end,
because we're winning money at that point.
No, I'm saying we're losing money at that point. I'm on the other side of the fence.
Okay.
With this just doesn't matter at all. We still think we're going to win all three because we're sick.
Yeah,
that's fine. Okay. So I'm just dialing it in. We're good.
You're the allotment guy. I'm never looking at what you're looking at. So if you're happy with what you're looking at,
I could be doing anything. Yeah, you're right. I could be doing anything. Anything.
You're the guy that puts the slips in.
Just like you're the screen share guy. I can't see what's happening. That's okay.
Yeah. Together we're one person betting in a sports book.
You're right. It doesn't make any sense to do it this way, but this is what we do. Okay, everybody shut up.
Yeah, but I can't share our account. You guys don't get to see our account. Shut up.
No. Okay.
Who's had fun this morning? Hands up. I want to see show of hands. Who had fun? I had fun this morning. We're back. It was a long summer break.
It was. That's the most important thing. We're back. We're having a good time.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a great time watching the race. And even if you know what, now I'm like, I hope nothing happens. Right? It's like Monaco.
Chalk.
Now I kind of like Lockie dilating. We dial it in that way. Nothing happens. Hope it all just. I hope it doesn't even. I hope they don't race. Hope it's like it does rain randomly. They do one lap. It's just Spa in like 2021. That would be sick.
Just one lap of rain.
One lap of rain. Do that. I'm fine with it.
By the way, we don't talk about it enough. How I feel like we timed our cash out of the Max Verstappen future of 15 plus wins.
Oh, did we?
Oh my God, the guy might not win a race again this year.
Oh, he might not.
Wait, is there futures pre-race? Can I screen share? Is there futures?
Yeah, you should be able to.
No, not a win total.
Oh, not now. I think they probably took it all off the board, man.
I'm so happy we cashed that out. Great, good job for us. Yeah,
I know. We snuck that one in.
Okay, so we're 300 on the Checo group, 300 on the V Carb over Haas, and 400 on the George and Max to not be on the podium. That's our favorite bet. I think if you tallied up which bets we've taken the most, it's Max and George not on the podium together.
Any combo fade with George in it, we love it every time.
We love it.
It's very aggressive. And you know what? Somehow it usually comes through. So
yeah. All right, guys, that's the show. I always got to look at my calendar. Next weekend, right? Yeah, we're right back at it.
Monza.
Like and subscribe. Hey, you